Hello, community. Happy Thursday and happy New Year to all of us. Welcome to today's community event on this beautiful Thursday, January 2nd, the first community event of 2025. Want to welcome you all to today's session, to today's new year. Hope you and yours are doing fantastic. I believe you started your year well, healthy, strong, ready to take over 2025 and ready to embrace everything that we're about to experience in this year. So we are very looking forward to this session today as we want to just look at the upcoming events that are about to come towards us. We want to also get into much detail in regards to what to expect so that we are prepared from day one in 2025. We are well aware, well informed, and we can fully relax and embrace what's coming our way. So again, Happy New Year to all of us, community. I want to wish you the best of the start of this year. May all your desires, your wishes come true. May you remain healthy, strong, and may we see success in 2025. This is all that we've been working for towards for all these years, to be part of our very first bull run as a community. And things are aligning perfectly, as we will see as we progress throughout this session today. So without further delay, as usual, you know the drill. We have daily tweets that we post out. Also want us to engage with them so that we can reach as many people as possible, bring awareness to our industry, the crypto industry, bring awareness on what the crypto industry is all about. And of course, also highlight the challenges within our industry, how we as an ecosystem, as a community, are tackling these challenges using our platform through smart contract technology, through the blockchain technology. And that's what this is all about. We also aim to further grow our community by doing these community events, hosting these community events on Twitter and on YouTube as well, regularly on a weekly basis. So this is how we intend to grow. We want to grow a community that is informed, educated, purpose driven, inspired, and understands a lot about how money works, how our monetary system works, how macroeconomy works, the challenges we face in the industry, the opportunities that present themselves through those challenges, and how our ecosystem works, how our platform works, and so on and so forth. So what is more beautiful than a community that comes together using this blockchain technology to enhance themselves, to improve ourselves, by being informed, educated, and inspired. This is what it's all about, community. Let's grow this global decentralized community as we embrace this new age that is coming towards us, and which will make blockchain technology seem like nowadays what we look at our mobile technology. Nobody thinks about, when we use our smartphones, nobody thinks of it as a technology. It's just part of our lives nowadays, right? It's just something that we do, something we use. And it wasn't like that just 30 years ago, if you think about it. But now it's normalized. It's something that we don't even think about. We can't even be without, right? Our whole life evolves around it. Our social lives, how we interact, how we bank, how we can record, take pictures, listen to music, entertainment. Everything is based and surrounded by the mobile technology. And the same is about to happen with the blockchain technology, right? It might not seem commonsensical right now, right? However, this is exactly the route that we're taking. And as we're progressing through this session today, as we are starting 2025, we really want to highlight this fact that there will be a major shift, major changes, especially due to the regulations, more clarity. It will open so many more doors, many opportunities, as we're about to see in today's session. So with that said, let's engage with the tweets. Killer Whale Survivor and Bullrun, they're all out. Let's ensure that we engage with them, we interact, we bring awareness. That's very important, right? Let's kickstart this year the right way, as we always did. And the question is always asked sometimes, what's more important, how you start the year or how you finish the year? Well, we have experienced, community, 2024, January 1st, we started with a community event, and December 30th, we closed out 2024 with another community event, also on Retrospect. So we have the luxury to say both. We want both. It's how you start and it's how you finish. So I want to start this year with a bang, just like we did 2024, and we'll close it out with a bang, just like we did 2024. So let's rally for today's session, community. Let's be engaged. Let's be loud. Let's be focused. There'll be a lot of information to be discussed today. So if you have any questions, feedbacks that you want to put out, feel free to do so. At the end of today's session, we'll go through all your questions, feedbacks, everything that you want to comment about. We'll go through every single comment and answer your questions, your feedback, right? With that said, let's get right to today's topic, community. There is quite a bit to discuss. And as always, let's start with CoinMarketCap, right? Let's look at what the market is doing. What's the market doing? So we are up 3%. We're in the green, even though we see fear and greed index, it's just roughly at 51%. Why is this so important? Why is it so relevant? Because this industry is very emotional. It's very sentiment driven, right? So right now we see how Bitcoin surpassed 96,000. Ethereum also crossed 3,400. And the rest of the market in the last 24 hours has been picking up in the green. And also you notice that the volumes, of course, have been also now starting to pick up again. There's really not much to say. I'm sure we spend a lot of time on this chart, so we're not going to really spend a lot of time here. Let's get right to today's session. The topic gave it away. We want to discuss upcoming events and what's coming. What are we about to embrace? What's coming towards us? And there's quite a bit, community. So first of all, the newest, what's happening actually tomorrow, or rather starting tomorrow, are the refunds, right? So refunds to the creditors of the FTX exchange are starting tomorrow, January 3rd. And actually, the refund distributions are planned to be starting tomorrow, like we said, and it will be within 60 days from tomorrow. The creditors are supposed to be repaid by that time by FTX. Now, what's so significant about this is the amount. It's over $12 billion, right? So over $12 billion is out there, and it will be paid out in stablecoin. This is something that is very unique, because now this is, instead of being paid out in cryptocurrencies, which will cause sell pressure, might cause sell pressure. They paying out in stable coins. This, of course, is gunpowder, right? This is powder for the market. So this has potential that these are individuals that have been going back and forth for the last 2 years. Finally, they're getting hold of some of their funds, at least. And these are individuals that are well versed in the crypto industry already. These are individuals with wallets, obviously, already being paid with the stablecoin cryptocurrency. Obviously, these are individuals that have been in the market already, and it couldn't be a more perfect timing, right? Right before the inauguration and all of that, right before the really bull cycle, altcoin cycle starts. Here are the payments being put out starting tomorrow, and within the next 60 days, there'll be over 12 billion paid out in stable coins into the market. So this is the great way to start, or to rather kick off 2025. There is literally no better way to really bring in fresh liquidity to existing crypto enthusiasts, and in the as much as 12 billion US dollars, right? So that's something that is starting right tomorrow. So that's something we can pay attention to, or we can look forward to, rather. What else? Another thing, as we closed December, we realized that the market actually sold off a bit in December. That was right after the Feds delivered the statement that they did, that they were going to cut interest rates twice instead of 4 times, only twice, right? So the next meeting that we are going to hear about the Feds is scheduled for January 29th, right? So 27 days exactly from today. So this is the next official date that we should mark on our calendars, that we'll hear from the Feds in regards to how the interest rates moving forward are going to be handled. Will there be an interest rate cut on this date? That remains to be seen. That's something that we're about to hear more about. But before all of this, we'll hear about the employment numbers, of course, as well. This comes on January 10th. So this is something that is very important for us as an industry, and also on a global scale, on the financial industry as a whole, not just the crypto industry, of course. This affects us as well, of course, directly. And another thing also that comes on January 15th is the CPI, as always, the Consumer Price Index. This is also coming. So the employment numbers, the CPI numbers are coming on the January 10th and 15th, respectively. And this all will be now taken into account based on all these numbers. These will decide what's going to happen come January 29th. So this is very, very important. Now, but what everybody is now looking forward to, as January is really jam-packed with so many things that are happening. But the most important that people are really, really looking forward to is obviously the inauguration of the Trump's inauguration. This will take place January 20th. So it's like slapped right in between, right? Between the employment numbers and the CPI numbers. And then in between, there'll be the inauguration. And then January 29th, we'll hear about the interest rates from the Feds moving forward. Now, why is the inauguration such a big deal? Because we've already knew since November, first week of November, that the president-elect Trump is going to be the president. So what makes it so interesting, of course, is because the SEC, right? It's because the existing administration has been really literally having a negative impact on the crypto industry, especially the Security and Exchange Commission. This, of course, is changed with the nominated Mr. Atkins, right? He's now the one that is going to lead the SEC. We'll touch base again shortly on who Atkins really is and what position that he really holds. I know we've been over this, but there's some new insights on the character or the person of Atkins is, and how much impact this will have, having such an individual at the head as the chair of the SEC, which will be a really contrast to Gary Gensler, who is actually resigning come January 20th and is going to move. This alone is literally going to push the prices, has the potential to push the prices higher as well. And this is very important to understand as well, right? This is something that we really need to understand. And as we see here, so why are we discussing this? Why is this so relevant? It's because we understand that the incoming president is literally embracing crypto. And even though the EU already has its MiCA rules, right? Digital asset rules, it seems that having such a pro-crypto president is literally going to give US a leg up, and give US a leg up to approach the digital currency space differently, right? This has the potential to draw business from Europe into the US industry, experts say or claim, and this is something that we really need to pay attention to. Also, what we need to highlight also is that there are so many companies that left the US due to just hostile regulations, right, by the existing administration from SEC. But now with the inauguration of new administration, new pro-crypto president, which embraces the cryptocurrencies, now there might be a risk that actually Europe now are the ones that will be losing business. And these companies, digital asset companies, may want to consider, or rather even favor, a more friendlier US market, right? And these are all speculations, of course. However, what we've heard so far, what we've seen so far, and the moves that the president-elect has made so far by electing really pro-crypto Congress, House, so on and so forth, the probabilities look very favorable, right? Most notably is the largest exchange, Binance. As we know, Binance itself as a company and its CEO, CZ, Binance, first of all, the largest cryptocurrency exchange, we all understand that they were actually literally slowed down from the US market, right? And they were actually removed from doing business and interacting with US clients. However, now, with the promise of Trump, that promised to make the US the crypto capital of the planet, this, of course, opened doors wide open for Binance to come back into the US market, as it is literally the largest financial market in the industry, and the largest exchange in the world doesn't want to miss out on this opportunity. So also what I want us to highlight here is that the existing MiCA regulation right now in the US, even though favorable, but they really have some hurdle that comes along with it. Like we discussed in our last community event, there are some, to remain compliant, there are some charges, some fees that go along with it. And even the entry barrier is extremely high. There's some fees you have to pay. The licenses are not cheap to acquire. So for it's not favorable for startups to start up in Europe. The barriers of entry are extremely high. The compliance maintenance that are recurring fees are very high. So this is why experts are anticipating that because Europe has such stringent requirements, US, it will be easier, much easier in the US, especially for startups, new companies, right, that don't have the capacity in terms of funds. And like we said, of course, he nominated two individuals, Atkins, like we just discussed, for the SEC position. He is a lawyer, right? Well informed. He's also a former US Security and Exchange Commissioner as well. So he's well experienced. And he also has his own advisory firm as well. And then the other appointee also was David Sachs, like we said. He is a VC. So not only is he a venture capitalist, but he also runs a venture capitalist company as well. And this is an individual that is also one of the part of the PayPal mafia, like we've been discussing. So there's also another individual that is very well connected, both on Silicon Valley, right, in terms of fintechs, very well experienced with the startups and all of that, and also well connected on Wall Street as well, right? So, and what they were, here is Trump being quoted, we're going to do something great with crypto, right? So their ambition is to literally make US more favorable, regulatory friendly, crypto friendly. And all of these are obviously great indicators to kickstart 2025. And this is what it's really all about at the end of the day. And like we said here, the ongoing compliance cost can be such that businesses get to the brink of viability. It's because crypto startups may choose to launch in the US, like we said earlier, because the increasing costs for startup firms in particular are extremely high. And even just to comply and to pay the fees that keep coming up that you need to remain compliant are extremely high. And this is done by design so that existing traditional financial institutions that already have existing licenses have it easier and can maintain their dominance. It's done by design, right? So this is really it that I wanted us to look at in terms of this article right here, just to furthermore elaborate on the impact that the new administration is about to have on the crypto space. So now I would like us to really just focus on three major things that we can look forward to in this year. What really is something that we can really look forward to and is going to take place during 2025 from the very, very start of this month, right? So obviously, like we see here, the rise of stablecoin powered payments. We've heard throughout 2024 and in our various community events how stablecoins are playing a major role. And we identified why stablecoins play such a major role. It's because the World Economic Forum set two goals. And those two goals are, first, you need to we need to use this technology blockchain for two reasons. One, to strengthen the dollar. The dollar needs to be strengthened. And secondly, to strengthen the bond market. Why are those two things so important? Because keep in mind, how does our monetary system work? Our monetary system works by it's debt-driven, inflationary. And why is it inflationary? Because to stimulate economy, you need liquidity, right? So each time liquidity is needed, money needs to be printed. And that's how it gets inflated, and that's how you stimulate the markets. So it's a two-edged sword. Yes, the markets get stimulated. However, it comes with higher debt and more inflation. So back to why the World Economic Forum focuses on stablecoins so much. It's because stablecoins are solving the two requirements that are needed, are on the agenda of the World Economic Forum using the blockchain technology. It is one, like we said, strengthen the US dollar. Secondly, strengthen the bond market. Why is that the case? We'll find out as we progress through this session. And we should know that all along, because we literally live by that. Our ecosystem is all about that. It's about liquidity, obviously. Those two are the most liquid assets in the entire financial space. The US dollar is the most liquid, and then money market funds are the most liquid. So these two things, and the debt markets, of course, the bond market. So those are the most liquid assets. So this is why it plays US stablecoins play such a major role. So anyway, so 2025 will mark the beginning of the payment industry transitioning from slow, expensive correspondent banks to fast, cheap, and internet money through stablecoins. So as we are waiting for regulations, we are getting ready to really fully transition to instead of waiting for banking hours and all these 2-3 days transfer times, we're going to transition fully to internet money, stablecoins, blockchain technology. It's more efficient, it's more scalable, it's more transparent, and it's open. It's an open ledger, so no need for audits. Everybody can verify it, and that's the most important thing. That's what's lacking in the financial industry, right? Besides the infrastructure, of course, but we will get to that as well. So we're going to literally see the birth of the world's first truly global fintechs and neobanks, all built on top of the blockchain-based system that will completely change the way the world banks, transacts across the next 5 years. So these are things that are coming 2025 and beyond. With clarity in terms of regulation, it will open a floodgate of opportunities. It will open a floodgate of transactions, of liquidity entering the space. And needless to say, stablecoins and real-world assets to back all the the tokenized bonds are obviously on Ethereum. Just a heads up, but we already know that. So what's second? Secondly is, like we said, a surge of on-chain startups. So like we said at the beginning, startups right now are on the sideline. They don't want to be sued by the current SEC or administration. They were suing everyone and anything. And now, with the more favorable administration, we are going to see or experience a surge in on-chain startups and huge innovations, right? So, like we said, with an oppressive regulatory regime in the US coming to an end come the 20th, when the inauguration is going to take place, VC, venture capitalist, is going to pour into on-chain startups. What a coincidence! Because we just saw that David Sachs has his own VC company. So what a coincidence that he is the chairman, and we are going to see how VC money is going to really flood into on-chain startups at a rate rivaling the last bull run in 2021. So all these indicators are pointing towards more liquidity, right, that is going to enter the space. So even though, like we started the session earlier with anticipating what the Feds are going to do come January 29th, will they cut the rates? Will they pause? Whatever, what will they do? It's irrelevant as long as regulations are put in place and we experience a flood adaptation of stablecoins. We see an on-chain startups innovation. All that liquidity is going to be injected directly on-chain. Just like we saw starting tomorrow, all that liquidity is going to be injected through stablecoins, 12 billion worth of it on-chain, right? Directly on-chain. So this is like a heads up, or like testing the waters of how that is going to be, right? How is it going to be when, for the first time, such a large amount, over $12 billion worth of liquidity in terms of stablecoin is going to be injected on-chain? How is that going to be? And this is something we can look forward to with all these startups, VC capital entering the space, and we see all of that. So all the businesses that are running accounts receivable, accounts payable, payroll, treasury management, payments, remittances, all of these are going to be automated. How do you automate these things? Using the blockchain technology. Two words, smart contracts, right? Smart contracts. That's it. So you can do all of this using the blockchain technology through smart contracts. So all of this is going to start to flow through these new startups and are going to be the default on-chain onboarding for the next millions of people to blockchain-based assets, right? So the third one that is literally the trigger or the catalyst, I should say, to the previous two is, of course, regulation. We need clarity. We need clarity in terms of regulation. So the upcoming Trump presidential administration is likely to unleash a more deregulated environment for crypto, right? And it's not just a jurisdiction undergoing a shift, but it's also, of course, the United States. The new year will begin with the inauguration of a new president and administration with a stated commitment to fostering innovation in the crypto industry. Keep in mind, the goal is to make the US the capital hub. So imagine the nation with the largest economy, the nation that is the home to the global reserve currency, the US dollar, wants to also be the crypto capital. Already, the president and its administration are very favorable towards this, the crypto industry, as we will see in more details as well. And this is all great for us, community. How better can we kickstart this 2025? There's really no better way to kickstart this. So the existing MiCA and also the upcoming regulation through the US, they won't be perfect, right? But they're in full effect, and they also will literally accelerate into an institutional adoption of blockchain technology. And this is the aim. This is the goal. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. So what else? We'll also see that with regulations coming, we will experience, we will see how world's largest banks will be custodying crypto come 2025, right? And this is something that we can really look forward to. And let's see which ones, like BNY Mellon, State Street, JP Morgan Chase, Citi. These four banks alone, they hold more than $12 trillion US dollars assets under management. This alone tells you that potentially, once the regulations are cleared and there's more clarity in that regard, in terms of custody, stablecoin, real world assets, all of that, there are, just based on these four large banks alone, there's $12 trillion amongst them. So imagine if once they can issue their own stable coins, once they can use their own assets under management as collateral on chain, once they can use these money market funds as to tokenize them and then use them as collateral on chain, that's 12 trillion US dollars already. That's already more than four times the size of the current entire crypto industry, just based on these four banks alone. So that just shows you the sheer impact that a friendlier regulatory environment will offer, right? The banks, it will offer them a path to custody. It will offer them a path to participate in the crypto industry. They can issue their own stable coins, or they can also have use that custody regulation as a new form of revenue, right? So there's a lot that is about to come our way, and all of these are being forecasted that will take place in 2025. What else? One thing that is in everybody's mind, and that really pushed Bitcoins to literally not just hit, but literally surpass $100,000 was the sheer thought of making Bitcoin a reserve asset for nations, right? So far, it's been just all talk, and even within the U.S., even the appointed chairman, like we just discussed, David Sachs earlier, when asked, he clearly said that, all right, the interest is here, but he doesn't see how it would make sense to do that, to have Bitcoin as a reserve. And we also saw how, even though the most bullish crypto advocate, Michael Saylor, actually pitched a presentation to, for example, Microsoft, that kindly declined, and they declined big by 99.95%. And as we progress through this session, we'll get a hint on why that took place. So this is another promise that was made during the campaign, and it literally, just the anticipation of it, or just the thought of it, literally pushed Bitcoin price past 100,000. And anticipation is that it might push Bitcoin to $1 million by the end of 2025, if this would take place on a global scale. So sticking with this topic, we have other market leaders, major economies such as Japan and Russia, which is a direct competitor of the US, of course. They already ruled out national Bitcoin reserve. They already ruled it out, even, they say for now. They ruled it out already. So it's not even being entertained. It seemed like since President-elect Trump mentioned that and put that out there, it seems like every campaign in any other country, the politicians just have to reference Bitcoin reserve asset, and they'll be elected. So politicians will do anything to be elected. But if it's really feasible for it to happen, it seems like nations are really reserved. They're taking their time. They're not really jumping the gun. Like we said, Tokyo and Moscow each say they will take a cautious stance and wait for other nations to take the Bitcoin buying lead, right? So nobody really wants to bite, nobody wants to take that leap. People are just tiptoeing around it, and no major move has been done yet. So we're still waiting for this, and we're going to see what steps are going to be taken so far. So there's another big question mark that we are waiting to see in 2025 as well. What else? So crypto industry, of course, they're calling for a Congress to block the new DeFi broker rules. What really is this, right? So the IRS had ruled and classified DeFi protocols as brokers. And breaking news, just before the live stream started today, the IRS actually, the same individuals, they actually postponed the whole taxing requirements for crypto taxing to 2026. So apparently it got postponed to 2026. So it seems like really things are moving in favor of DeFi and the crypto industry extremely. But nonetheless, this is a topic that wants to be ruled out. And because there was a major backlash within the crypto industry, of course, that the IRS was ruling DeFi protocols that are literally smart contracts to be brokers, right? Of course, we understand why this is the case, because DeFi literally rivals the whole traditional banking system, right? And what does DeFi do? Literally, you stake, you earn yield, you borrow, you lend. That's what banks do. That's what traditional banks do. So imagine being able to do DeFi, which it stands for decentralized finance, meaning you're doing it on your own, just interacting. Instead of interacting with the JP Morgans and Citibanks and State Streets, you're literally interacting between your own DeFi wallet and a smart contract application, right? And this, of course, is a big threat to the established institutions. And this is why they want to slow down and have the regulations passed through, so that they can have the fast dip and really establish themselves within DeFi. And we will see that clearly as we progress throughout this session today. So, of course, this is going to have a backlash. And with such a pro-crypto friendly regulation, Congress and president and administration, obviously this is going to be rolled back, and it's not going to be as negative as it is right now, right? So the DeFi broker definition encompasses platforms performing intermediary transactions in facilitating transactions, right? And this is exactly what blockchain technology was meant to be. Intermediaries, to remove intermediaries through smart contracts, right? That's what the blockchain technology is all about. And obviously it's a threat. However, let's look at it in a good way, because we'll clearly see how established traditional institutions are heavily investing into DeFi in terms of infrastructure, in terms of tokenized real-world assets, in terms of stable coins. We're about to see all of this. So keep this in mind, right? And this is all part of regulation. So this is all going to be tucked away, taken care of in 2025 as well. Why is that? Is because Signum, the leading Swiss digital bank, did a survey, and it comes out that institutions are literally going all in on crypto, right? What is holding them back? It's literally regulations, nothing else. And they actually 65% of the survey respondents actually are very bullish long term, and they say that within the next 63% of them say that they are going to, within the next 3 to 6 months, they're going to accumulate allocation in terms of digital assets, right? So these are big numbers, and this is a very reputable bank in Switzerland. It's a digital bank, actually the fast digital bank in the world, and very established, highly regulated. And they are also are bullish on what's coming in terms of long-term accumulation of digital assets on institutions, right? So with that said, we don't like to just take things at their face value, right? Within our ecosystem, within our community, we don't just take things for their face value. We like to scrutinize things. We like to verify, double check, triple check, right? So let's start with this. So it says tokenization startup Plum got funded. Remember how we saw how one of the three, let's go there. Let's use this YouTube situation to show it again. Remember how we say these are the major three, right? The rise of stablecoins, right? And second are the surge on-chain startups, right? VC capital being flooded into the space. We don't want to just assume and take these things for their face value, regulatory clarity and all of this. So as we progress throughout this session, we're going to verify all these three. Will there really be a rise of stablecoin? Are there really a surge of on-chain startups and innovation? And will there really be regulatory clarity? Let's not just take Yahoo Finance article for the face value. We're going to verify all of this, all three of them, just to make sure that we're on the right, we're not being led along, right? So here we are, tokenization startup, right? Plum gets 20 million in funding. To do what? To build a world-class, real-world assets finance ecosystem. So here we are, fast verification. So really, they're getting 20 million from VCs in funding to push forward RWAs, real-world asset, and create an entire ecosystem out of it. So this is the first verification that tokenization is a real deal. Startups are starting to come up, and these startups are being funded by VCs. What for? For real world assets, right? What are real world assets right now that are being pushed forward? Let's go back. Real world assets that are being pushed right now are for on-chain startups, are for what? Stablecoins. Stablecoins. And what else? We said, why is it stablecoin? Is because to strengthen the dollar and to strengthen the bond market, the debt market. Let's keep that in mind. It's very important as we move along. So now that we see this, let's go to another article. Let's not just take this article for its face value, right? Let's look at another article. What do they say about tokenization? So here we see the same company now. They are teaming up, literally partnering with Ondo. Ondo is known also for real-world assets. And Ondo actually also issued treasury bills, tokenized treasury bills. Now, Plum is a new up-and-coming layer one blockchain strictly focusing on real-world asset finance and its use cases. So these two are literally joining forces. They're teaming up to expand real-world asset finance use cases. And for what exactly? For tokenized treasury bills. Remember what we said the conditions were based on the World Economic Forum is to strengthen the dollar and strengthen the bond market, which is the treasury bill, right? Market. Strengthen the bond so that the debt market is strengthened. Why? Those are the most two liquid asset classes. The dollar itself and money market fund, treasury, and the debt market. Those are the most liquid securities and asset classes. So anyway, Ondo again and Plum working together to tokenize debt, US debt products for more investors across real world assets, right? And they want to create an entire ecosystem around that. And we'll see exactly what that ecosystem is about. It's for DeFi. It's for DeFi. right? Like we said, Plum is a layer 1 blockchain for focusing strictly on real world assets, right? And Ondo, they're known for their fast liquidity fund, also just like BlackRock's Biddle. Theirs is also focusing on treasury backed yield coins, right? So they're having stable coins that are issuing yield, literally. So this is a major deal. And these are well-established institutions, well-funded institutions by venture capitalists. And one of the major venture capitalists that is very well known, both on Silicon Valley and on Wall Street, which is David Sachs, is literally appointed and a chairman in the administration of Trump. So, and the other one, we are about to look at him also more closely. But before we go there, another thing I want us to look at here is this. This is very interesting here, community, because keep in mind, I will always repeat this. The reason why stablecoins are in such high demand, the reason why stablecoin regulations are going to literally be the biggest catalyst for liquidity to rush into on-chain, specifically on Ethereum, is because of this right here. World Economic Forum wants two things: strengthen the dollar, strengthen the bond market, the treasury bill market. And this is exactly what these tokens are doing. And they're actually stable coins that are literally bringing you 4.65% annually, right? And USDC doesn't do that. USDT doesn't do that either. But with Ondo and Biddle and all these other ones, they are literally giving you yield. They're literally giving you a yield on your stablecoin. So just for holding stablecoin, you receive 4.65 yield, right? So, and it's also a promise to expand access to yield coins. So this is becoming a trend. So yield coins are very attractive, very attractive. Why? Because you want a collateral that is liquid, that gives you yield. Does that sound familiar? And that is using its volume efficiently to be efficient and sustainable. And also you want a collateral that is at least deflationary, if not scarce. Keep all of this in mind. So yield coins are in high demand, community. And it's led by stable coins. They're giving you yield. They are liquid. And this is what it's all about. They want to expand all of this on global individuals, but also institutions, of course. And all of this, of course, is not offered in the US. Surprise, surprise. Why? Because there's still no clarity yet, still no regulations. So this just shows you how much liquidity is getting ready to be flooded into the US markets once there's clarity, right? So this is just another verification that shows you that once there's more clarity, there'll be an influx of liquidity. So what else is the collaboration for? It's not just an opportunity to offer expansion of real-world assets and its use cases, but what does it do? It also contributes to the overall growth of DeFi. DeFi is being mentioned here over and over and over again. DeFi plays a major role. And DeFi is going to play a major role because the largest market in the industry is the derivatives market. It's a very ineffective, inefficient market as we speak right now because it's not using the blockchain technology. It's still being run under old infrastructures, dated infrastructures. And it's not transparent. There's a lot of closing days. It's still running on banking hours and on old closed ledgers that nobody can verify. It's not transparent either. So using this blockchain technology is going to be a major boost for the financial industry, and it will cause overall growth for the DeFi space. So let's not take this article's word for it either, right? Let's not just believe this one article. Let's look even further. One thing we need to understand here is that this is securitized, right? What is securitized? First of all, what did they do? They launched innovative so-called S tokens. What are S tokens? S Vault tokens. These are what do they do? They're here to enhance. These are not my words, community. I'm just a messenger. Everything at the end of the day comes back to liquidity. So it's to enhance liquidity. And this is such a fancy word, composability of real world assets. What composability means, it's in its simplest term, is something that we always use. It's efficient use of your volume, for example. You can compose, you can build something out of, if you do something effectively, efficiently, and use it efficiently, you can compose, literally meaning you can build other product, other things out of them. Let's make an example. Remember how in our community, we always say, use your volume efficiently? Us using our volume efficiently means that the more volume we have in our ecosystem, three things happens. One, we retain more liquidity. Secondly, we become scarcer by burning our supply. Thirdly, we are accumulating USDC distributions. That's the best example of composability. Because we're using our volume efficiently, we are composing, we are building other products out of it. We are actually adding more value by doing one thing right. We have the opportunity to build other things using just one thing. And this is what Securitize is literally doing with the S tokens, right? They want to enhance liquidity and composability. So that means they want to use liquidity to compose more things out of the liquidity. What is that? Obviously more volume. And obviously that also means more stability, right? And that brings them also into other real world asset opportunities, such as stable coins, such as collateral, and so on and so forth. So this is very important to understand, but we'll get into more of this. Right now, what we need to take away from this article is Securitize launches S tokens to enhance liquidity and to use, I don't want to use this word composability. Let's use the word to use a flywheel effect out of being efficient. If you're efficient and you have the flywheel effect, it triggers other things to also be added, like the example we made based on our ecosystem. Once we have steady volume, that steady volume generates more liquidity, burns more supply, and accumulates more USDC. That's what composability is all about. Just let's keep that in mind. Another important thing that we need to understand is that what Securitize really is. What is Securitize? It's the globally leading tokenization platform. And what does it do? What's its ambition? Is to bring the world on chain. It's as simple as that, very straightforward. So like we said, it announced today that it's going to launch its S tokens, right? And what is it based on? What a surprise. It's based on the Ethereum technology, ERC, right? So all of this, the leading tokenization platform is launching the S token based on Ethereum technology, right? So this new functionality offered through subsidiary Securitized Credit in partnership, what will it do? It will unlock enhanced yield opportunities. Why is everybody so focusing on yield? Didn't we read this earlier before as well? Yield coins. This is exactly what's going to be used. Ethereum is being used for the real world assets to unlock enhanced yield opportunities, to unlock enhanced liquidity. And also, it does all of that for the real world assets, right? So far, there's only $1 billion. It's only a $1 billion market right now. It's so small. And keep in mind, it's going to be larger than that, way larger. So, and it's issued by Securitize across what? Decentralized finance. This is all we need to know from here. Really, there's nothing more we need to know from here besides what Securitize is. They're the leading tokenized platform using Ethereum technology. It needs to unlock liquidity, like we saw up here, it to enhance liquidity, and also it is to enhance yield opportunities. What are our 4 challenges that we always talk about? Sustainable staking distributions. These are not my words. You see it right here. So Securitize is solving the sustainable staking distributions. It's right here in front of us. What else are they solving? Enhanced liquidity. So those are 2 of our 4 challenges that we are addressing already, right? What's the other one? It's liquidity, sustainable staking distributions. Because it's a stable coin, it can't solve obviously inflation, right? It doesn't. But the other one is, like they say, composability. They're using their volume efficiently, right? This is all we need to understand from this article, community. And just to highlight once more, Securitize plays a major role. It is the largest leading tokenized platform. Let's understand that. They're here to enhance liquidity. They're here to enhance also, like we saw here, they're using the Ethereum technology, like we said, and they're also here for DeFi, right? And also they're here to enhance the yield opportunities. Let's keep that in mind. Let's continue. One thing that we need to understand out of all of that is just that Ethereum is by far the number one, with over 77% market share. Like you see here, 77% market share in terms of real world asset. So needless to say, Ethereum is by far just dominating this industry. They're ahead of Stellar, Polygon, Arbitrum, Solana, everything else. Ethereum is single-handedly the home of real world assets, of stable coins, of liquidity. It is the home of all of that. Let's always keep this in mind. Now, after all this is said and done, let's quickly summarize all of this. Let's summarize this. What do we know so far? The legislative focus will be on getting stablecoin legislation passed. First, this is the first thing. Nothing is more important. Once Trump is in office and his administration, what they're going to focus on first is stablecoin legislation. That's the most important, because this is the only thing that is literally addressing the 2 requirements, the 2 that are on the agenda of the World Economic Forum: strengthen the dollar, strengthen the debt market, the bond market, period. So this is the most important. And then the focus will turn to crypto market structure, which means which crypto assets are commodities, which are securities, meaning this includes also the whole, like we discussed earlier, the whole staking, and it will involve the Ethereum ETF staking and all of that. So these are the 2 most important regulations that will be cleared, supposed to be cleared within this month, or at least within the first 100 days, right? So these are something that we need to look forward to. After all is said and done, we need to focus on stablecoin legislations first, then which crypto assets are commodities, which are securities, Ethereum, can we do the staking, ETFs, all of that. Once that is given a green light, then we'll have the biggest catalyst for altcoins season like we've never seen before. So another thing that we also need to understand, like we started this session in regards to the Feds, they scaled back, right, expectations for interest rate cuts in 2025, like we discussed. They scaled it back from 4 to only 2 cuts. This weighed on Bitcoin prices, of course, because why? The M2, which is the money supply, goes hand in hand with Bitcoin. the more interest rate cuts, the more liquid the market is, it's good for Bitcoin and other risk assets, right? So if the Fed slow down its rate cuts, Treasury yields. What is Treasury yields? Treasuries are bonds, the bond market. Here we are back to bond market again, the debt market. Yields could remain high, making them more attractive to investors compared to riskier assets such as Bitcoin. So now we know why we see Bitcoin so volatile and Bitcoin dropping so much once the Feds announced that they're going to scale back on the interest rate cuts come 2025. And remember what the agenda of the World Economic Forum is to make the dollar stronger and to strengthen the bond market, the treasury, the debt market. And this is exactly what's happening, right? So it's right on schedule. They are slowing down on cutting interest rates. This will make treasury yields remain high, and this will make them more attractive for investors than risk assets and illiquid assets such as Bitcoin. This is all according to plan, according to the agenda of the World Economic Forum, which is to strengthen the debt market and to strengthen the dollar. How do you do that? We keep the interest treasury yields, keep them high, and this will make them more attractive to investors, right? And also regulate the stable coin industry. This will strengthen the dollar as well, of course, and this is exactly what's needed. And why are classifications important of which assets are commodities and securities? Because the only 100% clarity based on this administration that is a commodity is Bitcoin. But as far as Ethereum and every other altcoin, it's still out in the air. So once there's clarity on that, that needs to be clarified, because all the stable coins, they're not on Bitcoin, they're on Ethereum. So this will bring clarity to Ethereum. And Ethereum holds the most stable coins, like we said here. They hold the most real world assets, like we saw here as well. So Ethereum literally is the platform both for stablecoin and real world assets, as we see here, by far 77% market share. This is not even close. So this is why it's very important that we focus on stablecoin regulations and assets, so that we understand what is a commodity and what is a security. So with that said, let's now verify these as well. Let's not just take the words for it. Let's now dig deep. So this is a very interesting article community that I want us to share together. And this is not my word again. It's so interesting because they call it the Holy Trinity of DeFi Renaissance. What is the Holy Trinity? It's usual, Ethena, Biddle. Let's take us back. I need us to follow along. Remember how we said that the ambition for the World Economic Forum is to strengthen the dollar and strengthen the yield, the treasury bill, the treasury market, and how the regulation of stablecoins need to be done first. Remember that? And how stablecoins are focusing on yield and so on and so forth, and how it's very important to achieve that. So now here we are. This article is literally verifying all of that. So usual, Ethena, and Biddle. These are stablecoins and not your regular stablecoins. These are your yield-bearing stablecoins. And also, all three of them are now coming together, known as the Holy Trinity of DeFi Renaissance. So let's quickly read through this. What is so eye-catching? What is so important to understand here? Because a strategic partnership between usual, Ethena, and you see they don't say BlackRock, Biddle, they say Securitize, because Securitize has strategically partnered with BlackRock to issue Biddle. Biddle is a conception between BlackRock and Securitize in partnership. Biddle is owned partly by Securitize and by BlackRock. They have a strategic partnership, and together they deployed Biddle on Ethereum. So this is why you only see usual, Ethena, and Securitize. However, Securitize, like we just learned earlier, is a tokenization platform, right? For what? For the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, BIDL, like we just discussed. So it is reshaping DeFi by combining, not my words, this word just always comes over and over again, liquidity. Here we go again, yield. And what again? Composability. Didn't we read this word before? Why does this word keep coming up again? It's just a fancy word of using your volume efficiently. Basically, that's all it means. So we don't have to be so fancy with this word. It just means being efficient, using your volume efficiently. So does this sound familiar? It takes a holy trinity community to tackle what we've been doing from the very start, focusing on liquidity, sustainable staking distributions, yield, and using your volume efficiently. So do you realize these are just three? Which one is the fourth one? Is inflation, right? So tackling inflation. Obviously, they can't tackle inflation because it's a stable. These are stable coins paired with the US dollar, pegged with the US dollar with the US dollar, meaning that US dollar is inflationary, so they can't tackle that. But they can tackle lack of liquidity, sustainable yield, and using your volume efficiently. This is exactly what our ecosystem is all about, including tackling inflation, of course. So that's the missing part in this because it's a stable coin pegged to the US dollar. So it takes the Holy Trinity, usual, Ethena, and BIDL to tackle not four, but just three of these. Why is that? They want to reshape DeFi. Let's look at how. So a strategic partnership between usual, Ethena, and Securitize, the tokenized platform, like we know, of BlackRock, BIDL Fund, they're reshaping DeFi by combining, what are they combining? Here we go again, liquidity, yield, and efficient use of volume, right? Let's go to where it really matters. This is really something that really, really speaks for itself. There's nothing else to say after this. So this is not me, this is just the article. It calls it the holy trinity of liquidity, yield, and efficient use of volume. So in the rapidly evolving landscape of DeFi, a new alliance emerges to redefine what's possible. Imagine that. So usual, Ethena, and BIDL, they're all funds, they're all liquidity funds, and they're tokenized by Securitize. Securitize is the largest tokenization platform in the world. They've partnered with BlackRock to create BIDL, and joining them is Ethena and Usual. These are all stablecoin issuers, and their stablecoins are yield-bearing. They give out yield, and they're backed by treasury bills, of course, tokenized treasury bills. So 3 of the fastest growing names in their respective domains. So they are market leaders in their respective domains. And they are joining forces now to create I like how they use the word groundbreaking layer of what? Liquidity, efficient use of volume, and yield. Together, they form a holy trinity designed to drive a DeFi and stablecoin renaissance, enhancing, now this is important, stability. Why? Because with liquidity, obviously, you bring stability, maximizing yield, sustainable yield distributions, remember, and optimizing liquidity. I mean, this just sounds like they're talking about our ecosystem, right? With liquidity comes stability, maximize yield, efficient, sustainable yield distributions, and then they optimize your liquidity across TradFi and DeFi, right? So why am I mentioning this? Is because it takes 3 of the largest institutions. Actually, there are 4. It's 4 of them. It's Usual, it's Ethena, it's Securitize, and it's BlackRock. So it takes 4 of them to solve 3 of the challenges in the industry. but at least they're solving 3 challenges using stablecoin. So this is very important for us to understand, community. Very important. So where does BlackRock come into play? Where does the BUIDL token? So this is the holy partnership, right? Built for growth. So this collaboration is not just about aligning 3 powerhouses. It's about creating synergy across every layer of the ecosystem. So together, they're building an ecosystem that is literally that brings institutional grade liquidity. They're doing all of this for liquidity. To what? To DeFi. I really want us to understand this. Why is our traditional institutions focusing so much on bringing liquidity to DeFi? And here we are talking about liquidity, developed a platform that literally is developed to retain liquidity for DeFi. And it takes BlackRock and 4 other powerhouses, BlackRock and 3 other powerhouses. These are not my words. These are powerhouses to build liquidity for DeFi. This is just to highlight what we have, community. We have a liquidity hub with Bullrun ecosystem. This is all we do to retain liquidity for DeFi. And it takes 4 of them to build an ecosystem to bring liquidity to DeFi. Anyway, so BUIDL offers secure, productive collateral that enables decentralized protocols to build applications backed by assets from traditional finance. This is great. What is usual? Usual is offering real-world assets-backed stablecoins. This is all we need to know. And they're using T-bills, right? Which is treasury bills, which is debt that they have to purchase to back their stablecoin for liquidity, right? On-chain, to bring liquidity on-chain. And they want to deliver, again, stable. With liquidity comes stability, payment-ready asset, right? So users can stake their stablecoin and receive distributions, right? They receive distributions. So with staking, they're bringing some sort of removing supply from circulation. So this is how it takes all 3 of them to somehow ensure, because usually you can stake, usually has a staking platform. So this is how they're going to remove stable coins from circulating supply. That's why it takes all 3 of them. They all have their all different strengths, right? Like we say, BlackRock, they have all the assets, $11 trillion worth of assets. Usual protocol, they're into real-world assets. They're focusing on liquid T-bills and so on and so forth. And then Athena, they're the ones that are literally the internet bond, right? And they have a dollar protocol. Where is it? On Ethereum. And what are they here for? They want to also use, they're providing users with yield, right? And they're doing all of this on Ethereum. All of this Holy Trinity, their home is on Ethereum. Why is this so important to understand? Is so that we can appreciate our ecosystem. We are only one ecosystem. We're not partnering with anybody else. Everything is done through smart contracts. And we actually are tackling all 3 of these challenges, actually all 4 of the challenges, which is lack of liquidity, sustainable staking distributions, which is yield, and efficient use of volume, plus inflation also, because we are not a stable coin. We're not a stable coin. We just paired with one, but we are not a stable coin. So these are the 4 challenges we've been talking about for the past 2 years. And this is why we developed our platform to address these 4 challenges. Here we are. It takes the Holy Trinity to tackle the challenges we are tackling on our own, right? So that's just for us to appreciate what we have, community, right? Let's continue. So Trump has nominated Paul Atkins, right? Paul Atkins has been nominated to lead Securities and Exchange Commission. We all know this by now, but there's something I really want to highlight about Paul Atkins. And now that we've discussed so much about Securitize, let's look at Securitize. This is Securitize, and these are the advisors. This is the advisory board of Securitize. we've been discussing about Securitize for a very long time now, right? For over an hour now. So we know that they're the largest tokenization platform. And who is the advisor? Paul Atkins. Who is Paul Atkins? The up and coming Security and Exchange Commissioner, right? That is nominated. So the individual that is actually at the advisor, and he's not doing this for free, by the way, because he has a consulting company that is advising companies. And he's the advisor, as we see here, of Securitize. So anyway, this is we are 18 days away from having him as the Security and Exchange Commissioner of the US SEC chairman, Paul Atkins. This is the individual that is getting ready to run and regulate the SEC. And he sits as an advisor for Securitize, which happens to be the largest tokenized platform in the world, that literally has partnered in partnership with BlackRock, issued BIDL token, which is a stable coin that focuses on purchasing US debt. Do we understand the implications of all of this, community? Keep in mind, we are verifying the fact that all of this is getting ready to happen. What? Stablecoin regulations, real world assets regulations, and more clarity in general in terms of regulation. And here we are. We have this individual as the advisor for Securitize. Why is this so important? Because this is the agenda of the World Economic Forum. Let's understand what the World Economic Forum says. They say that tokenization is transforming global finance and investment. That's not what I am saying. This is the World Economic Forum, right? And they're saying that the tokenization of financial asset on the blockchain is gaining momentum at an institutional and governmental level. So, and also what we need to understand is that there's so much fragmentation right now in financial flows, and with the blockchain technology, this will ease up so many things. And the benefits of tokenization in capital markets will increase exponentially as more institutions and infrastructures see advantages for themselves. One more thing I want us to understand here. Keep in mind, one of the major financial discussions themes at the 2024 annual meeting. As we know, World Economic Forum, it's an annual meeting once a year in Davos, right? And they have discussions. And now they're literally telling us that one of the major financial discussions in 2024, let's pay attention. What was the major discussion of last year's meeting? It was how physical and financial assets can be tokenized. They're literally telling us what they discussed, and they're telling us it's one of their major discussions. So tokenization is not Larry Fink's fetish or just something that he wants to do as a side job. This is on the agenda of the World Economic Forum. Don't take my word for it. Let's go back to Securitize. Let's see who is representing the World Economic Forum. This lady Radel, she's from the World Economic Forum. She's actually the managing director of the World Economic Forum. And she's representing the World Economic Forum's agenda with Securitize. And she is one of the advisors of the World Economic Forum. So this is not just wishful thinking and trying to connect the dots where there are no dots, but this is a fact. She's representing the World Economic Forum's agenda, like we saw here. And this was one of their major financial discussions, is tokenization. What better place to be an advisor than with the largest tokenization platform, right? So we are talking about things that are about to escalate in 2025, and these things are going to take place right here on the platform that people say is dead, has not hit all-time highs yet, but yet in terms of real-world assets, it's leading by 77% in terms of market share. That means all the liquidity from stable coins, real-world assets are coming right on Ethereum, where everybody else is not even paying attention to. So let's continue. Now that we understand that this lady is representing World Economic Forum's agenda, and now that we also understand that, let's understand furthermore what else is on the agenda, right? So, overcoming fragmentations. So, the world is increasingly interconnected across financial and trade flows, yet every asset class is traded on a different, fragmented pyramid of aging technology systems. This creates a real challenge for banks and governments to get a full picture of exactly who owns how much of what at any time. So the challenge here is that there are so many different technologies and languages within the blockchain technology. So the question we should ask ourselves, and we always like to know what challenges that the world economic is experiencing, so that we can create a solution for it, right? We can be ahead of it. So let's look at what this means. Now we understand the challenge. The challenge is that there are too many different languages, too many different technologies, even within the blockchain technology, right? So Ethereum, Solana, and Cardano, these are literally the largest blockchains that are being talked about on a daily basis. These are literally the cutting edge technologies, the blockchains that are literally moving the news, right? But the question now is, now that we understand that DeFi is the future, DeFi is where everything is about to take place. So who is DeFi's favorite? Let's see who really is DeFi's favorite. So to identify, before we can answer that question, we first need to understand that there are programming languages, right? And in the case of Solana, Solana's programming language is Rust. It's called Rust, right? So it has its own programming language, right? And let's look at Cardano. Cardano's programming language is called Plutus. That's the native smart contract language for Cardano. So it's a whole different programming language. It has nothing to do with the Ethereum, right? And let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is Solidity. Ethereum uses Solidity programming language, right? So let's read about Solidity. Solidity still remains the #1 choice among blockchain programmers, right? With hundreds of projects built using its language. The best known projects on Solidity are as follows. Of course, it's Ethereum itself, the entire blockchain Ethereum. Ethereum is literally, and people don't really appreciate this. Just like Bitcoin is literally the very first cryptocurrency, the so-called digital gold, the so-called store of value, Ethereum is the very first smart contract blockchain. People really don't get that. It is the first and only blockchain, layer 1 blockchain, that is literally using the Solidity. It invented Solidity. So anyway, the first example coming to everyone's mind is Solidity, right? Because of Ethereum. All smart contracts of Ethereum and Ethereum-based projects and applications are written in Solidity. That's it, right? So let's look at other ones. The first lending platform, lending and borrowing application, of course, on Ethereum, Compound. This unique algorithmic project established money markets with the help of an autonomous interest rate setting mechanism. Its smart contracts are created on Solidity as well. Compound has been copied multiple times by Aave and by other lending and borrowing platforms on Solana, on Cardano, on every other platform. Everything always starts on Ethereum and then it gets copied on other chains. What else? Uniswap. I'm sure we're all familiar with Uniswap. The first DEX, decentralized exchange, built on an Ethereum built by an Ethereum enthusiast and dedicated follower of Vitalik Buterin. This cryptocurrency exchange has many Solidity-powered infrastructure elements as well. So the first lending and borrowing platform, it's on Solidity. Uniswap, the largest and first DEX, is Solidity. Ethereum itself and everything built on top of it, including every other programs that are powered by Ethereum EVM, is built on Solidity, right? So like we see here, like we've been seeing, so Ethereum, Compound, Uniswap, right? All on Solidity community. They're all based on Solidity. So let's wrap this up, right? So Solidity, which Ethereum brought about the advent of smart contracts that have transformed blockchain for the better. Smart contracts, which automate the mundane and facilitate the creation of a truly trustless ecosystem, can be implemented by the first, and I repeat, it's the first universal language we will discuss, which is Solidity, right? So Ethereum brought the very first universal language known as Solidity for smart contracts. It is the largest smart contract blockchain. It's the first to introduce smart contracts, and we have to give it credit. Why is that so important? Why are we stressing so much on smart contracts and Solidity language and all of that? It's because based on the World Economic Forum's agenda, the business case for tokenization is nothing else but smart contracts. Now maybe it starts to make sense why everybody's jumping on Ethereum, why all the tokenization, all the stable coins are Ethereum, because it's the first universal language, it's the first blockchain to introduce smart contracts. Everything else that is built on Ethereum is later on being copied on other blockchains as well. So smart contracts is the business case for tokenization. If you want tokenization to move forward, which will strengthen the US dollar and the bond market, you need smart contracts. What else? It needs to be automated processes. And what else do we need? And why do we need it? First of all, it's efficient. It shortens settlement cycles. It's much faster. What else does it do? This keeps coming up. It improves liquidity. Why is liquidity so important and always being mentioned everywhere all the time? Because liquidity dictates the volume. And volume, if you remember what we read here about the Holy Trinity, this is what it's all about, right? They want liquidity, yield, and composability, meaning efficient use of volume. And if you have volume, you have higher yield and you have liquidity, right? So this is very important for us to understand, community. But let's continue here. What we need to understand here, community, is that the demand for the 27 market operations will require something. It will require a new infrastructure backbone, right? We need that. Let's remain with this. Let's go back to Securitize. Who else is the advisor? We'll need an infrastructure backbone. So who else do we see here as the advisor? We already know about Amazon, but now look who else is here. Google. Google is the second largest cloud computing service provider. And they have the product manager, the group product manager of Google as an advisory for Securitize. So not only is Amazon already secured Ethereum domain name, but Google is already here already as an advisor, as a representative already. They are getting ready to also make sure that they can implement what's needed to for the business case to tokenize the world. We need a new infrastructure backbone. And who is the leader in that area besides Amazon? It's Google. Who else besides Google? It's Microsoft. So if you see Microsoft kindly declining Bitcoin as a reserve strategy, it's because they are focusing more on what the World Economic Forum needs, and they need a platform with smart contracts that has automated processes, that improves liquidity, that builds an infrastructure backbone, and also that that can connect the blockchain networks together, right? So by using distributed ledger technology, what are they using it for? For collateral management, right? It's the whole idea, it winds up because of collateral. But let's take this step by step. Let's go step by step. Let's understand one thing here. Let me share this. So Ethereum is meaningfully decentralized and credibly neutral for network participants, likely a requirement for any global platform for tokenized assets, and therefore has the best chances among smart contracts to benefit from tokenization. This sounds all great, but let's verify this. Remember this website of real world assets table? What is the number one blockchain here? It's Ethereum. By how much? 77%. The second one is Stellar. By how much? 5%. So the second largest real world asset blockchain has 5%. And Ethereum has 77%. So basically, this article is literally summing up and verifying that, yes, indeed, Ethereum is meaningfully decentralized, credibly neutral for network participants, and which is a likely requirement for any global platform for tokenized assets. And therefore, it has the best chances among smart contracts to benefit from tokenization. Literally, it's saying Ethereum is the winner and it takes it all. Everything that has to do with stable coins, real world assets, it's on Ethereum. And this is why also everybody's waiting for stablecoin regulations, real world assets regulations. Why? Because it's all on Ethereum. That's it. And this is why we have not seen altcoin season triggered yet, because Ethereum still is waiting for clarification. Once that takes place, we are up for an amazing bull cycle, right? Straight off the gate. Now, one more thing. Let's take one more step back. Let's go back and now address this last part here. We've addressed the infrastructure part. We've addressed the liquidity, but what about collateral management? What about collateral management? That's where JP Morgan comes into play. Not just JP Morgan, but these three come into play. I want us to remember these three names: JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Barclays. Keep these three names at the back of your mind. First of all, what do they have in common? They're having a tokenized network. They have a tokenized network in common. And they're using BlackRock's shares as collateral. Where did we see this before? This is not some random YouTuber, some random Twitter influencer talking. This is the World Economic Forum. They want the distributed ledger technology to be used for collateral management. This is on the agenda of the World Economic Forum. This is what they want. What else do they want? They want that the financial infrastructure is right now, what's the challenge? They're operating in a way like we discussed decades ago. They're using message-based systems pioneered in the 70s. Distributed ledger technology, which is the blockchain technology, which uses smart contracts, which is literally Ethereum, the largest one, is the one that will bring capital markets infrastructure into the 21st century. They'll streamline everything, automate things that are usually right now being done manually, and it's time consuming, right? So let's move from theory. We've been discussing theory. Let's bring things to practice now. Assets tokenization can unlock collateral mobility. These are not my words. This is the World Economic Forum. They want to unlock collateral mobility through tokenization. This is the whole agenda. And why? Because they want to free liquidity. They want to bring liquidity to DeFi. It's as simple as that. So let's go back here. Now it will make sense why these three play a major role. JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Barclays. What are they doing? They are using money markets funds. Why is money market funds so important besides stablecoins? Because of this. What are the most liquid assets and securities? Cash, which is the US dollar, the most liquid. What else? Followed by cash equivalents such as what? Money market. Where else did we just see money markets? Right here. So BlackRock, they want to tokenize the money market funds, which are the second largest only behind cash itself, the US dollar itself. Do we realize what's happening here? These three large banks are working together to tokenize two of the most liquid assets in the world for the derivatives market and use them as collateral. Just like the agenda of the World Economic Forum is dictating it. Tokenization can unlock collateral mobility. That's the agenda. Simple as that. Let's not believe that. Let's not take my word for it, right? Let's not take my word for it. Let's verify all of this. Let's not take this article for its face value. Before we start verifying though, let's look at the whole construct. First of all, JP Morgan, they have what a coincidence. They have an Ethereum-based Onyx. That's the blockchain. It's on Ethereum. What does it do? It is the bank's tokenized collateral network. So they're already using Ethereum blockchain for their tokenized collateral network. What is it used for? It's used by BlackRock to do what? To tokenize their market shares. What is my market share? It is the most liquid asset in the world, just behind cash itself. So US stablecoin or US dollar itself is the money market, right? And this is what BlackRock, JP Morgan, Barclays are working together using the Ethereum blockchain so that they can use BlackRock's money markets, which is the second largest liquid assets in the world. And they can use JP Morgan's network, tokenized collateral network. What is it for? So that they can transfer it to Barclays for collateral in an derivatives trade. I mean, everything is right here in front of us. But what the takeaway here is that who are the major players? JP Morgan, BlackRock, Barclays. What are they doing? They're building a tokenized collateral network using BlackRock's money market funds as collateral for what? For derivatives. Okay, let's go back up here. Remember these three names, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Barclays. Let's not believe this article. Let's say that we doubt. We're not sure about this article. So let's come to Securitize. Who else is here? Who else is here? Keep in mind, this is the advisory board, right? So let's start with JP Morgan. Then we see that JP Morgan is here. Who is representing JP Morgan? This fine gentleman here, red fan, is representing JP Morgan. Okay, who else is here? This other fine gentleman is here. He's representing Barclays, right? Well, Steve, who is representing BlackRock? Okay, let's go up. She's actually at the board of directors. He is at the board of directors. This gentleman right here, he's the managing director of BlackRock. So BlackRock is sitting at the board of directors because they're in partnership with the co-founder of Securitize. They're working together with Forbidl. So they're represented on a board level. And then JP Morgan and Barclays are represented on the advisory level. Why? Because they are going through an agenda of the World Economic Forum, which is represented by this lady. And all of this is done under Securitize. So we just verified this article right here. We have the three representatives of JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Barclays. They're all on the advisory board. They're either the board of directors or in the advisory board for Securitize, which is the largest tokenized platform, because their aim is to use JP Morgan's, which is also represented with Securitize, use the Ethereum-based blockchain as the tokenized collateral network, and use BlackRock's tokenized shares and money market funds, which is the most liquid funds only behind US dollar itself, as what? To transfer to Barclays, which are also represented in the advisory board as collateral for derivatives market. I mean, and where does all this take place? On Ethereum. It's Ethereum based. So there's really not much more to say, community. It's if we want to kickstart this year, it can't be any clearer than today. So let's start this year understanding the agenda of the World Economic Forum, and it's taking place right in front of our faces. And we couldn't make it any clearer today to really highlight the impact that Ethereum has in the terms of DeFi and the future of finance and the whole tokenization of assets and the whole collateralization of assets, and using Ethereum as the catapult, as the engine behind it to achieve the agenda of the World Economic Forum. And they are very well represented right here as advisors. On the advisory board, there's a representative right here from the World Economic Forum. She ensures that the agenda of the World Economic Forum is put in practice and correctly executed. And also the entire network of from collateralization to tokenization to implementation of collateral through that network on the Ethereum blockchain are also overseen by the representative of JP Morgan, of Barclays, and from up here from the board, from the managing director of BlackRock itself. So all these individuals are working together to fulfill the agenda of the World Economic Forum, which is overseen by and represented by this lady over here. And this is all the agenda of the World Economic Forum. This is not a coincidence. This is not wishful thinking. This is not let's hope so, but this is a fact. It's right in front of our faces. It's right in front of us, community. So let's kickstart this year understanding that, first of all, it takes, let's go back here. It takes a holy trinity to tackle only 3 of the 4 challenges. Lack of inflation is still not tackled by the holy trinity, right? So even they can't handle all 4 of them. But however, they're tackling liquidity, yield, and efficient use of volume. This is great. And it takes an entire ecosystem They're building together, these four of them, Usual, Ethena, Securitize, and BlackRock, are forming a holy trinity to address lack of liquidity, unsustainable staking distributions, and inefficient use of volume. In addition, they're lacking inflation. They can't tackle that because these are stable coins. Stable coins are pegged to the US dollar. US dollar is inflationary. So they can't address that. But this is what our ecosystem addresses, right? If we now come down to all of this, this is very important for us to understand. Let's summarize all of this. DeFi plays a major role, right? So we see here, decentralized finance protocols, they are already considering using BIDL, which is tokenized shares, money market shares, right? In financial instruments, in DeFi. They already partnered with a leading money market platform, Aave. Aave is the #1 lending and borrowing platform. A copy of Compound, like we saw, written in Solidity, the language of Ethereum. And they are using BlackRock's tokenized fund as collateral. What else? What we also need to understand is that BlackRock launched just this year, last year in March, right? And it launched its liquidity fund on Ethereum. It's a token on a blockchain based, like we said, it's on Ethereum. What does it do? It's here for the money market fund. We know what money market fund is, right? We just saw it. Let's look at it again. It's besides cash itself, money markets are the most liquid assets in the world. And this is exactly what we see here BIDL represents. So they are creating a liquidity fund using the most liquid assets in the world, which are cash itself, US dollar, and money market funds, which is stable coins and real world assets. Money market funds are real world assets, tokenized assets. We saw how Atkins, JP Morgan, World Economic Forum, Barclays, they're all represented under Securitize, which is the leading tokenization platform. They're all using this with one focus: strengthen the dollar and strengthen the US Treasury bills, which is US debt. They are just doing what the agenda of World Economic Forum dictated them to do. That's it, right? So BIDL distinguishes itself from other stablecoins by offering interest to holders, right? Making it an attractive option for institutions that want both yield and security, right? So this plays a major role. This is the new trend. And what else do we need to understand? That BlackRock, they launched their tokenized fund, BIDL, which focuses on DeFi. Where did they launch it? They launched it on Ethereum, right? And what else do we need to know here is that they want to help solve real problems for clients. What are the real problems they want to solve for their clients? Securitize. This is Securitize. What do they want to solve for their clients? Like we saw here. Let's go back here. They want to solve one problem, and it takes an entire holy trinity for them. So Securitize, Usual, Ethena, and BlackRock together, they want to solve the problem of liquidity, lack of it, unsustainable staking distributions, yield, and efficient use of volume. This is what they want to address. This is what they are addressing, but they are missing inflation, right? You need to tackle that as well. And that's what our ecosystem tackles, all four challenges: lack of liquidity, unsustainable staking distributions, inefficient use of volume, and inflation, right? So that's the message for today, community. And Ethereum's growth and deflationary supply, right, is very important. This is a very unique future that Ethereum has. As it's growing, as it's being adopted, it has a deflationary supply. Why is this so important? Because its network is dominating decentralized finance, stable coins, and the developer community. like we said, with Solidity language, and also the real world assets community, right? Why is all this so important for us? And to bring this home now, why is all this so relevant? Why is this also important to us? Because we have an ecosystem community that is literally not solving three like the Holy Trinity is, but solving four of the challenges. Let's go through them again. Lack of liquidity, inflation, unsustainable staking distributions, and inefficient use of volume. Composability, remember that fancy word? What that means is if you use your volume efficiently, you are accumulating more liquidity. More USDC, you're accumulating more USDC distributions, retaining more liquidity, and burning more tokens. So by using the volume efficiently, we are literally composing, creating a flywheel effect. And that flywheel effect burns more supply, retains more liquidity, and accumulates more USDC distribution. And why is all of this so relevant? Because the liquidity rush that is about to enter the space. And also because to be efficient and sustainable, to go beyond just this bull cycle and then come crashing back. But if you have a platform that literally is addressing these four challenges on its own, just with its community that is informed and educated and inspired. Remember our last community event, we discussed this. It's not enough to just have a passionate and crypto enthusiastic community. They need to be informed, educated, purpose-driven. That's not even enough. We still need a platform that is addressing the four challenges. And that platform should be driven by smart contracts. On Ethereum, it should be addressing the lack of liquidity. It should be addressing inflation. It should be addressing unsustainable staking distributions and inefficient use of volume. Once you can address these, you are more than equipped as a community and as an ecosystem to take advantage of 2025 and all of its glory that is coming, with its liquidity, with its adaptation, with the regulation clarity, and all of the rush that is coming on Ethereum. There is no debate. Ethereum is the number one choice in terms of developer language solidity, in terms of where DeFi calls home, in terms of, let's look at it here. Don't take my words for it. Let's go through this. Ethereum is meaningfully decentralized and credibly neutral for network participants. Globally, it's open source, it's decentralized, and likely a requirement for any global platform. For what? For tokenized assets. Tokenized assets is an agenda for the World Economic Forum. Don't take my words for it. It's on their agenda. This is what they discussed. They're even telling us. One of the major financial discussions in the last year's annual meeting was what? Tokenization. So these are not my words. This is on the agenda of World Economic Forum. And it's telling us here that it's for the tokenization of assets, for tokenized assets, the best chances among smart contracts to benefit from tokenization, which is World Economic Forum's agenda, is Ethereum. And we don't even have to believe this article. We can just come right here and look at the data. Real world assets, right? Who is leading? Who is at the number one? It's Ethereum. So it's true. We can verify this multiple ways, cross-reference it, and we still come to the same solution. It is Ethereum. And this is where we are on, and this is what regulations are going to boost once there's more clarity in terms of stablecoin and stable real-world assets, and also in terms of just general clarity. What is a commodity? What is a security? This is what this session is all about today, community. It's for us to understand that it doesn't take a holy trinity for us to achieve to address the four challenges. It doesn't take the holy trinity. And it doesn't take centralized institutions. It just takes informed, educated, purpose-driven communities such as us, and it takes a platform that is addressing the 4 challenges in this industry, such as the one we have. This is all it takes to achieve success, to embrace and take advantage of this opportunity that we are about to experience that is coming towards us, like we've discussed in detail in this session today. So community, this is it on our side. I understand it's been a long session, but let's kickstart the right way, right? Let's start this year informed, inspired, educated, and let's prepare for what's coming our way. We don't want to be caught off guard. We want to be anticipating and expecting. So this is why this session today was extremely important for us to really understand what's coming in this new day starting tomorrow. Like we said, with the distributions of the funds to the victims of FTX, stablecoins in terms of $12 billion, and also what's coming in the next few weeks with inauguration, who is in office, liquidity that is about to get flooded into the Ethereum blockchain through tokenization and through of real world assets and through stablecoins as well, right? So everything is lined up for us, community. Everything is perfectly aligned for us, community. And there's nothing that we can be more excited about than the future, than what's coming our way, community. So let's embrace the future. Let's embrace the present. Let's understand what we have as an ecosystem. We don't need centralized institutions. We don't have to even partner with other holy trinity to build a holy trinity. It's just us as a community, a global community, that everybody can participate in this movement and address 4 challenges that needs to be addressed in order to make the most out of this community, this gold rush, I call it, this liquidity rush that is about to enter the space. So this is it for today, community. Let's get to your comments, as I believe that there are some comments that you left here. Let's go through them. Meanwhile, for those who have not yet, I encourage us to engage with the tweets that are out to bring more awareness as well as we go through these comments. Let's engage with the tweets, and even after this session, let's engage with today's session as well, so that it can reach as many people as possible, as there was so much information in this session today. I also encourage us to re-listen to it, as it's a lot, but they're very important informations that we need to understand and embrace, because only if we understand all of this said today, we won't be sentiment driven. We won't be emotional, no matter what comes, right? No matter what the news, the crypto Twitter is saying, or anybody else, but we'll be relaxed and understand what's coming our way, right? So Queen Kinole says, can't wait to get educated and be informed. Thank you very much, Queen Kinole, for taking part in this session today. You're very much appreciated, and I hope you had something to take away from today. Queen Deborah says, Happy New Year, Bullrun community. I can't wait. What a topic. Happy New Year to you too, Queen Debbie. I hope you and your family are doing fantastic and had a great start in the year as well. Queen says, Happy New Year, family. Looking forward to the session. I hope that you had something to take away from today's session and that it benefited you also today. And thank you for participating in this community event today as well. We have Queen Felgona says, Happy New Year, family. Happy New Year back to you too, Queen Felgona. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community. Queen Lati says, compliments of the new season. Bullrun family, can't wait to hear from our professor, Brother Steve, as he takes us through this incredible journey in the crypto industry. Take us on, King Steve. Thank you so much, Queen Lati. It's always a pleasure seeing you in the community. We appreciate your inputs, your consistency, your participation. And thank you for your feedback as well. Queen Mother Caroline also says, I am buckling my seat. I am buckling my seatbelt and getting ready for the ride of a lifetime. knowledge is power. Beautifully said, Queen Mother Caroline. Always a pleasure seeing you in the community. We appreciate you very, very much. And thank you for your participation, your consistency. You are very much appreciated. Queen Grace says, hello, Mr. Steve, Mama Wino, and the Bullrun family. Eagerly waiting to hear from our own dev expounding on the 2025 events that will cause a complete change in our lives as crypto enthusiasts. Beautifully said, Queen Grace. And I believe and I hope that today's session really shed some light and met your expectations of today's session. Thank you so much for feedback and for participating as well. We have Queen Patricia says compliments of the new year. We enter 2025 with a lot of confidence and focus, led by our committed developer, Steve. Thank you again, Steve, for your dedication. We speak more life to you. Be blessed. Thank you so much for all the well wishes, Queen Patricia. May the same be to you and your loved ones. We appreciate you as a community. Thank you for your leadership, your consistency as well. And happy compliments to the new year to you as well. Queen Mother Caroline says, Happy New Year to the Bullrun community. Happy New Year to you as well, Queen Mother Caroline. We have Queen Val here as well saying, Happy New Year to you, Mr. Steve, Queen Mother, and to all of us Bullrunners. Can't wait to hear from our tutor on how bullish 2025 is going to be. Thank you so much, Queen Val, as well, for your input, for your consistency as well. You're very much appreciated. And also to our new members, welcome to the Bullrun family, where we get the most exclusive top layer information and education from the crypto space. Feel free to join our Telegram communities. Thank you so much for the links that you placed here, Queen Val. You're very much appreciated for that. So if you're not a member of on our Telegram group yet, here is our survivor link. Our Bullrun Killerway link is here as well. Thank you, Queen Val, for all of that. Queen Maria says, good evening, King Steve. And Queen Mother, good evening to all the queens. May God bless our abductors and our platform this new year in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, Queen Maria. You are very much appreciated. Thank you for your well wishes. You are very much appreciated. May you and your family also experience only the best, and as we enter this new year. Queen Kinole says, Happy 2025. Community are ready to Bullrun. I am. Thank you so much as well for your feedback, Queen Kinole. And absolutely, we are ready to kickstart this 2025 with a bang, and we are ready and prepared to take on whatever is coming our way. Queen Patricia says, compliments of the new year, family. We are glad to be part of this fruitful year. Good things are ahead of us. Absolutely, absolutely. We have great things ahead of us, like we highlighted in today's session in detail, and there's so many things that are waiting us. Happy New Year, Bullrun ecosystem, says Queen Aloshi. Let's start the year with gratitude to God for the blessing of this ecosystem. We are blessed to be here. Thank you so much, Queen Aloshi, for your input, your feedback. Absolutely. Let's kickstart this 2025 with all the positive vibes, the energies, and with the one mindset as a community is that we want to succeed and achieve everything that comes towards us. Juntao says, can't wait for this session. I hope your wait was worth it, Juntao. I hope that you have a good takeaway from today's session. And like we say, we always encourage the community to go further and do their own research. Take these sessions as use these sessions as a point of reference, and go above and beyond to verify, cross-reference, and all that. Information and education brings confidence. Confidence gives us the courage not to be emotional or led astray by sentiments, right? And that's important in this industry. My great brother Theo says, greetings and happy new year, my great brother Steve, dearest great mama Wino, and my epic BRL family. Thanks for all you do for our community, great professor, and always leading by example. Happy new year to you too, my great brother Theo. I hope you and yours have started the year fantastically and in good health. Thank you for your feedback. Always a pleasure reading from you and seeing you in the community. 2025 is our year, our time. Absolutely, absolutely. Beautifully said. There's really nothing more to add to that. Queen Aloshi says, Happy New Year, Bullrun ecosystem family. Let's be grateful to God for the gift of this ecosystem. We are truly blessed. Beautifully said, Queen Aloshi. You are very much appreciated. Um, thank you for your feedback. Very much appreciated, and your consistency as well. We have Queen Shayla says, Greetings, beloved King Steve. Greetings to you too, Queen Shayla. Hope you and yours have started the year great. Queen Madawino says, Happy New Year, family. Glad we made it into 2025. The greatness of a community is measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. I mean, this is so beautifully said. Is there really something to add to this? I don't think so, right? This really said it all. This said it all. Thank you so much, Queen Mother, for your feedback and for uplifting the community with this. We have determined and persistent queens and kings. Thanks to all your efforts, we acknowledge the tireless efforts and the commitment to the Bullrun family. Steve, absolutely, absolutely. It's all team effort. This is what the beautiful thing is about blockchain technology. Is decentralized. It takes every single one of us. This is never a one-woman show or a one-man show. It's always a collective effort. That's the only way we can progress. That's the only way we can really succeed. Is when everybody adds value in their own unique way with their own unique abilities to add value to the ecosystem. That's how we'll progress and move forward. Thank you so much, Queen Mom. You're very much appreciated for your feedback and the uplifting of the community. Queen Shayla says, Greetings to King of Bullrun Steve and our dearest Queen Mother. Compliments of 2025, everyone, and I'm glad we made it this far. I believe this year is going to be one of a kind. Sorry, my phone is acting up. I hope your phone was able to work and you were able to follow along. But the session is recorded, so you'll be able at your convenience to re listen, tune in. We appreciate you still showing up despite technical difficulties. It shows your resilience, your consistency, and your mission, your purpose-driven mission that you have for 2025. Thank you, Queen Shayla, for your contributions as well. Here's my great brother Abdullah. He says, Warm greetings to Bullrun family. Join our YouTube live stream today as we kick off the new year discussing the latest crypto trends. Thank you so much, my brother Abdullah. You're very much appreciated for your leadership, your consistency. Indeed, you're the Bullrun analyst along with their crew, the whole crew of WPR, N2B2, and all the other ones that are really putting in so much effort. All the kings, all the queens that are putting effort, like Queen Mother said, it takes every single one of us to really achieve success. Queen D says, another session to be informed, educated, and inspired. The only way to making informed decisions is in crypto space. Brother Steve and Queen Mama Wino, as a community, we can't thank you enough. We thank you just as much because it's because of you that we are where we are. And it takes every single one of us. We're just adding value in our own unique way as we can, as everybody else is also contributing to the success of this ecosystem. So we appreciate your kind words, your uplifting spirit, and your leadership as well. N2B2 says, hello, Bullrun family, and Happy New Year. So blessed to be a part of these sessions. Excited for what 2025 has to offer. Thank you, Steve, for all you do and for taking the time to teach us. Thank you too, N2B2. We see your efforts, we see your leadership, we see what you do on social platforms, bringing awareness, uplifting the community, encouraging the community, and also leading by example. You're very much appreciated as well for all that you do and your consistency. Very much appreciated. Queen Catherine says, Happy New Year, King Steve. I'm very excited to be here today. There's always a lot to learn every single time. God bless you. Thank you so much, Queen Catherine, for taking your time on this beautiful Thursday, on this very first event of the year. We are glad to have you here participating with us. And thank you for your kind and uplifting words as well. Ernest says, greetings, beloved community. Greetings, Queen Mother, and our champion, Brother Steve. Thank you so much. Greetings back to you too. I hope you and yours started this year peacefully and in good health. We are privileged to be back here again. Glad to have you here. It's always a pleasure to see you in the community. Brother Abdullah, he says, warm greetings, Bullrun family. Join YouTube live stream today as we kick off the new year discussing the latest crypto trends. Thank you so much once more, my brother Abdullahi. Um, we see here from Queen Poloko says, evening Bullrun family, happy new year and happy for being part of sessions. God bless you, Steve. Thank you so much, Queen Poloko. You're very much appreciated. We are glad to have you in our community as well. Queen Viola says, greetings, family. Happy to be here once again. Glad to have you with us, Queen Viola. Thank you for taking your time and being part of this. Queen Monica says, happy new year 2025. Happy to be here once again. God bless you, Steve, for always indicating us. I wish you all a blessed and fruitful year. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your well wishes. May the same be to you and your loved ones. And thank you for being part of this session today. You are very, very much appreciated. Queen Mel says, greetings, happy new year, family. Greetings and happy new year back to you too, Queen Mel. I hope you and yours started the year in good health and in good spirits. Queen Gladys says, hi everyone, and happy new year 2025. This session is very encouraging to start with this new year to keep us going and going on strong in our business. God bless our brother Steve and mom. Thank you so much for your feedback. Very much appreciated. Glad that you are uplifted and that there's something that you are able to take away from all of this. My great brother WPR says, thank you, Steve, for such an amazing session. It really enlightens us. Now that Ethereum has the upper hand, we, the BRL, also have the upper hand because BRL, Killer Whale, and Survivor are on Ethereum blockchain. Beautifully said, my great brother WPR. I also see you for your efforts, all your inputs, your contributions, uplifting the community, your consistency, your leadership. Very much appreciated. Your contagious, positive energy, your vibes that you bring to the community. All that doesn't go unnoticed. You're very much appreciated as well, my great brother WPR. I'm sorry because it will take time for me to do grinding and make some noise on X because my account has been suspended permanently. I guess I need to not to be overhyped and overrating. This really affects a lot of us. I also still experience, even though we only like tweet, I guess we are so consistent as a community, tweeting every single day for the over a year now. We've been just tweeting consistently over a year, multiple times a day, and it affects many of us, right? And unfortunately, but that just shows your zeal, your enthusiasm, and I'm sure that we'll find a way how you can get back on Twitter. We need you up there as well. So Queen Louisa says compliments to the new season. I am thankful and grateful for this valuable knowledge, beautiful beginnings for 2025. Thank you always, Brother Steve. Thank you too, Queen Louisa, for all your inputs, your dedication. Very much appreciated. My brother WPR says, I'd like to thank Queen Val and Queen Awino for being the very first who has enlightened me about BRL and Bullrun ecosystem. Without both of you, I might not be doing deep research on BRL. Thank you so much for your feedback. Yes, indeed, Queen Mother Wino and Queen Val, they're consistently on every single day. They're on Zoom. They're the ones also, in charge of leading with the tweets on a daily basis. That is very educational. And absolutely, everyone is really chipping in and going above and beyond to just add value to our ecosystem. All the queens, all the kings that are just even showing up consistently. That's really what's needed to get to where we need to get. Queen Margie says, Marigi says, blessings to you, family, and happy new year. Blessings to you too, Queen Emily. Thank you so much for your feedback, and we are happy to have you here with us today. Queen Maureen says, Alice here. Happy New Year, our dev King Steve, Queen Mom, and family. Today's session is fantastic. Ethereum takes it all. Thank you, our dev, for always keeping us informed. Great things coming. Thank you so much for feedback. Happy to have you here with us today. Thank you for taking your time and being part of this session today. Uh, to King Abdullahi, our Bullrun analyst, and King N2B2, you both are truly gems in Bullrun ecosystem who are leading by example. You both always inspire me and make me feel encouraged. This is so humbling to see, very humbling to read, because all of you are just doing amazing, fantastic. You're going above and beyond, as far as even being permanently banned from Twitter just because you're putting the word out. It just speaks volume. There's nothing more beautiful to see community members going above and beyond and leading by example. That's beautiful. So you're all very much appreciated. Very well said. Um, Queen Waigwa says, enjoying the topic. Thanks, Mr. Steve. Thank you too, Queen Waigwa, for taking your time and being part of this session today. Very, very much appreciated. The grind may feel like unnoticed, but what is certain is that we, Bullrun ecosystem, we will utilize liquidity rush that is about to happen soon in the months to come, to make most of it. Absolutely. Beautifully said. We are definitely going to make the most of it and we're going to benefit the most of it. Um, of course, there are storms, wind, thunder, fire, and other uneasy things happen along our journey. This is going to be stories for us all to tell when we experience rainbow at the end of our journey. Beautifully said, really. There's really nothing more to add. This literally said it all. There is no easy journey. There is no easy road. To achieve the best and what's lasting and sustainable, it always takes a challenge, be it storms, wind, thunder, fire, whatever the case may be, like Brother WPR said. But the beautiful thing is we can go through it together and we can achieve our success together. Queen Joyce says, compliments of the new season. Thanks, Steve, for what you're doing for us. Stay blessed. Thank you too, Queen Joyce, for participating, for being part of this session today. Also, may you be blessed, you and your family. Queen Violet says, don't you need numbers so that you have volume required for success? Absolutely, like everything else, right? Like everything else. But what we're saying here is that that's exactly what's coming on the chain, right? That's exactly what's coming on chain. If you have the right, because there's always a saying, rising tide lifts all boats. If you were part of the last bull cycle, everything, literally everything was just flying. So during a bull cycle, that's not the issue. During a bull cycle, what's important, if you learn from last year's bull cycle, is who has an efficient, a sustainable ecosystem that will not just pump and dump, but will take advantage of this liquidity rush to retain, like we discussed in the entire session today, that is addressing the four challenges. We even saw how there's a holy trinity developed by BlackRock, Securitize, Ondo, Usual, right? They come together to create a holy trinity so that they can tackle 3 out of 4 challenges in the industry, and which is liquidity, which is sustainable staking distributions, and efficient use of volume. Everything needs liquidity, needs volume, and needs adaptation. And that's the beautiful thing about this blockchain technology. All it needs is adaptation. And with all this liquidity rush coming on chain, like we discussed for the last 2 hours, is that we have a platform that is going to take advantage of it, right? That is going to use the composability effect that we've discussed so many times, we've read, meaning we'll use our volume efficiently that is entering Ethereum to burn even more tokens, retain even more liquidity, and to accumulate more USDC distributions. That's a win-win-win for the trader, for the holder, and the staker, right? So if you don't address these 4 challenges, then you have to worry. Then you really have to worry. But if you have this, liquidity is a given. it's going to come. Bullrun lifts all boats. Everything is going to go up. That's just in the nature of things, especially on Ethereum, right? So everybody's going to be lifted. The question here is, who has a sustainable ecosystem that will make the most out of it and go beyond just this rush that we're about to experience this year, right? Great brother Theo says, great one, thank you. This session was packed with so much great information, truly inspiring, just what we needed to kick off 2025 on the right foot with a bang out of the gate. We salute you, great general. Thank you so much, great brother Theo. Beautifully said. This is a high note to really close this session with. It's been a very, very long one, but it's been packed with a lot of information, like we said, and it's exactly how we're supposed to kickstart this session, kickstart this year, and just as a community understand what we have, where we're headed, what we are expecting, and what we can embrace, and how we should move forward starting today. Queens, Brother Solomon, what is staking? How do we do it? Join our community, Brother Solomon. We have, like we said, daily Zooms. We have Queen Bar will be very happy to walk you through it and show you, guide you on Zoom how to do that. We have daily events, right? We have videos on YouTube. We have so many audios to do that. Feel free to join our Telegram if you're not yet, and join our Zoom as well. And we'll be happy to walk you through on what staking is and how to do it. I will be very happy to do so, right? So we have links up here. Join our Telegram groups. As we have the links over here. Where are they? Here's the link, Brother Solomon. Feel free to join our Telegram groups. We are on Zoom daily. Feel free to join there, and you will be walked through on what staking is, how it works, how to stake. You'll be able to learn that in detail, one-on-one. So take your time, join our Telegram groups, join the Zoom. There's a Zoom link put out every single day. You can just join, listen in, ask that you want to learn how to stake, what is it about, and you'll be very well informed in detail. So welcome to the community. We are happy to have you here with us today. Queen Maureen says, great session. We are very excited and very expectant. This is the best way. Let's close this session on a high note like this. Thank you very much. I can only give the feedback back. I appreciate the session. I appreciate you, community, for participating today. It was packed with so much information, but this is what's needed to kickstart the year the right way. I always believe that the best way, the most beautiful way for success is to succeed as a group, as a community, together, right? And I also always say that the road to wealth is really easy. Find a way how to add value to as many people as possible and do it better than anybody else. Do it consistently and lead by example. That's all it takes, right? And then we have a community that is passionate, that is also leading by example. All the kings and queens that are contributing consistent, you're all very much appreciated. So community, with that said, let's call it a session for today. I want to wish everyone a beautiful, a healthy, a wonderful, a successful start in 2025. Now that we are informed and aware of what we expect in 2025, let's be on our toes, let's be alert, let's be expecting, let's remain vigilant, let's remain focused, and most importantly, consistent, right? As the time is here now. January brings a lot of things with it, like we discussed in this session today and beyond, right? With that said, community, I want to wish you a wonderful start of the year. Stay healthy, stay blessed, stay focused, stay hungry, dedicated, consistent. We have what it takes, the platform. We also have an informed, educated community. We have a platform that is addressing the 4 challenges without having to resort to the Holy Trinity, like we discussed today. But we are on our own, a global decentralized community that has the community and the platform to make the most out of 2025. With that said, I wish you all a wonderful start of the year. Stay focused, stay hungry. Till we meet again. Bye-bye, community.